It's one of them mornings.
Hello.
Good morning.
We are here for the first time in a while, and we've got a great topic, which is divine intervention.
I'm excited about this topic.
I know. We had a moment of it the other night when you came to my house for board games night, and then the next day I texted her, I was like, we need to talk about divine intervention.
Yeah. Oh, it just popped in, didn't it? And it just felt so good in my body when you said that. I was like, yes. And I've been putting up a gazebo, practicing for these stalls this morning. I made it just on time. I think we're a couple of minutes late. Kind of a little bit bunged up. You're sounding a little bit bunged up too. Are you?
Right.
You all right?
That's just my voice.
It's just how you sound. I'm so sorry. My bad.
And my kids are both sick at the minute. Who knows?
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they? I'll try and stay.
It's just that weather, isn't it? I think is dragging us down at the moment.
Who's been affected by the weather right now? I'm watching everyone walk around with the most miserable faces. Excuse me. Everyone's, not everyone, a lot of people seem sad and in the dumps. I think weather does affect us, doesn't it?
I mean,
You're okay?
We're British, and I think that, you know, as British people, we moan about the weather, whether it's good or bad.
That's very true. That's what we're known for.
I'm classically that person.
Too hot or too cold.
Yeah, I'm
too
totally
wet
that
or
person.
Just is as it is. It gives me permission actually to just rest, and I think getting sick is another sign from the universe to slow down a little bit, because it can be go. I think that's a perfect example of divine intervention actually.
Yeah, sickness.
Yeah. It is. It's like slow the F down.
You know my moment of big divine intervention when I had my accident. So do you remember? You didn't know me then, though, did you? No. I had written on my chalkboard in my old studio, "Life Reimagined, coming soon."
Okay.
Meaning, like a holistic program that I'd created that I was launching. And then within a few days of putting that up, I stacked it down the back step of the studio, broke 7 bones. And
Was that down the ladder or was that the stairs?
Just one step.
It's a step, yeah.
Single step, just go and get the Hoover. And my life was totally reimagined.
Yeah.
But I was getting, that studio had a plethora of challenges right from even before it opened. We had lots and lots of unexpected things come up, and I was also teaching like 10 yoga classes a week, which doesn't sound much, but is a lot physically on the body.
Yeah.
And also we had a newborn baby at the time, and I was just binge eating junk food, and I was broken. I'd taken quite a few classes off here and there, and then a period of time off because I was just exhausted. But I still wasn't stopping because money was good.
Yeah, right.
Business was going well.
Yeah.
And it had just been after COVID that I was due to open during COVID, and that stopped the opening or prolonged the opening. And I'd finally got open and was doing well. But the doing was breaking me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't listening to that.
This is a theme that's happening in the world right now.
And the universe just intervened and literally broke me so that I had to stop.
How your life can change over climbing the stairs.
Yeah, split. Well, I mean, it literally was one step. It wasn't even a set of stairs. It was just one step down into where the Hoover was, and I just stacked it.
Yeah, it's madness to think how much that little thing can change your life. But I always have trust and faith that it's always for the highest and greatest good. I think the divine intervention that I reckon, what if Luke asks me, what is anything happened to me? And I was just thinking probably the moving to Australia. Like that happened in a way of like my friends would just FaceTime me going, and I was only thinking about it like a couple of days before. I really want to travel and get out of here, and I don't know if I've got the guts. And they're just there like, oh, we've got this referral scheme where basically this job will pay for you to come out here, pay for your flights, pay for your accommodation. You get a hell of a load of money. And I'm there like, this thing has been putting a plate in front of me, and I'm there with my pros and cons and completely scared out of my wits' end. And everyone always says, you're so fearless to do all this travelling. And I'm like, I mean, I do it, but I do it shit scared. I'm still absolutely terrified, but you just do it anyway, don't you? Because the signs are there. And I think those things, I had no belief in God at that point. I just couldn't deny that this has come up for a reason. I've got to follow this.
What was going on in your life at that point?
I just started to get my mental health in order. I just started to enjoy my job. I was working in a special needs school, and at the time it was summer holidays, and I was in a summer camp, little special needs enableability that I used to work, and I was really just enjoying life. And then it kind of felt like I had to be at that vibration to manifest and attract this next.
Yeah.
It was like, you're ready, leveling up. You're showing the universe that you're ready to put yourself first. Your mental health is starting to become a priority. Here's the next healing journey, Hayley. Bam!
Yeah,
It was huge.
Well, I think, that people have been so busy trying to manifest that they're manifesting from a place of fear or lack, or I don't have it and I desperately need it.
So it's the wrong frequency.
And then it doesn't happen. But when you step back and you release and you say, actually, I'm just going to get myself in a good place, suddenly the things that you want and desire, even if that's not on a conscious level, because the universe has a greater imagination than we do, then they start to appear. Then they start to happen.
Yeah. Well, how many times have you heard it when it was like, I finally gave up, like it was
And
when I
happened.
stopped looking for that man and I just wasn't looking and we just found each other. It's because you finally gave up and surrendered and got out your own way for the universe to come and be like, there you go.
Do you know how many people I know that have had children in that exact sense? Like, I know so many people that have been through like fertility treatments and stress and then all of this trying to bring children into the world, and then when they release and go, well, we're not going to do this, or we're going to give up, or we're going to try another route or whatever, that's when they've become pregnant.
Exactly.
And I've seen that over and over and over again with so many people. Like, you have to kind of let go to allow it to come in.
Let go and let God. It is, isn't it? It's always that the more attachment we have to that thing, the less likely it is that we're going to manifest it, because we're in a state of want and need it and feel like it's something that's going to fill a void. And the minute we become accepting of where we're at, you're a vibrational match for anything. And I get to the point where I'm like, I have desire for things, and I look at the business and I'm like, look at how I can expand it and the things that I can buy for it, the material things that will benefit from it. But I have no want for any of that. Anything that I could ever need, I feel like I've already got. Especially since meeting Matt as well. You've seen me light up since meeting him, and that was when it was like, give up. I just can't be bothered with this anymore. I'm just gonna... It went through a pattern of like loneliness and seeking someone out and knowing deep down that I'm like still coming from a place of void, Hayley. You've still got a little bit of work to do. And I'm a big believer as well of, you don't have to be fully healed to meet that person. Like, you don't have to be perfect to go into a relationship to benefit them. You can just go in as you, and then you may still have things to work on together.
Always have things to work on.
Yeah, right? So don't be like, no, I can't meet him yet, I just kind of let go and was like, when he comes in my life, I'll know it. I have got a desire for that person to come in now. But I'm never gonna force anything in my life anymore.
Someone once said to me, ask once, give thanks often.
I love that.
So you put your intention out into the universe.
Let go of it.
Let go of it, but then just remember to practice gratitude along the way of everything else. Embrace and raise your vibration and enjoy everything else along the way.
Say thank you as if you've already got it. I'm reading Conversations with a God, and it's another a seed that's been planted that's just always watered. This belief of prayer doesn't work if you pray in the way of, please give me this, I want this, I need this. It's not a vibrational match. So if you pray in a way of thank you, or affirmations or mantras or whatever word resonates with you, in a way of thank you for this, I'm so grateful that everything's working out for my highest and greatest good, or better. When you're asking for something, I always find as well, if you say or better, because then you're getting out your own way and you're surrendering a bit more.
I always start with for my highest and greatest good. And then just allow that to kind of be open-ended.
Yeah, that's good, because I find when I get specific, I'm then listed out everything. I want this, I want that, and it's usually the emotion. I don't bother so much with manifesting things. I'd love a hand pan. I'm just throwing it out there, universe. Like, manifest me a hand pan.
I saw one for 30 quid on Facebook.
No, they've got to be, they have to be expensive ones, or they're no good. Oh. Where did you see that? A good one?
I don't know if it's good or not, but it was used. But I inquired and I wasn't able to go pick it up in time, and they had lots of inquiries.
30 quid. I
thought it was worth a punt for 30
it's
quid.
Worth a punt, isn't it?
It was second hand, you know.
Yeah, I know someone that may rent them out soon. Anyway, I've got off topic because I got excited about hand pans. But really, there's no want or need for anything. And, I've lost what I was saying.
Well, if you think about, hierarchy of needs, what we really need food, shelter, water, warmth, yeah. That's what we need.
Yeah, we don't need love, do we?
And then everything else after that is like a bonus.
Yeah.
And so when we try and attract something from a place of need, we're practicing or trying to attract from a place of it being absent in our life.
Yeah.
From a place of fear or lack or whatever. Sorry, the dog's just decided to eat and drink.
Hi, Luna.
I don't know where the cat is.
Oh, yeah,
He's hiding. Don't know.
He's got a new kitten. It's the
Called
cutest
Simon.
kitten in the world. And
Yeah.
we've got Luna walking around here and coming up for cuddles.
Luna stays in her bed 23 hours a day, and the 1 hour that we put something live on, she walks around and eats and drinks.
Sorry, folks.
So I think you're right there.
Yeah, just slightly dying in the corner here. It's all good.
So I think that we're okay to want things. I just think when we need them, that's that unhealthy attachment to it.
Yeah.
It's okay to have wants and desires.
Yeah, and I think we're mistaken in our perspective around it. We've already got everything. We're abundant. Everything is abundant and can come at us at any time. But what's really happening is we've then put blocks in place through our programming, belief systems, peers' beliefs, ancestral trauma, all this shit piled in from childhood going into our subconscious. And it's like there's this beautiful hose. Think of it as this gold, beautiful, sparkly, glittery hose. And just along the way, there's been some knots put into it. It's gotten a bit grimy and it can't quite reach us. So if we want to be a millionaire and we're not, we've got limiting belief around that. And that's just a kink in the hose of allowing that to get to us. And if that's not believable to us, to pull out that kink, I can just automatically believe I can be a millionaire. Well, can you manifest a smaller amount? And then we slowly start to prove to ourselves, oh, we can create money. We can. Often we put limits and say, I can't do this, I can't do that. And then we prove to ourselves the next day, oh, I actually did do that. And you're starting to be like, okay, well, maybe I can question myself and become abundant that way and manifest whatever it is you want that way as well. It's kind of like a backwards way of thinking about it.
Like a little and often way. Until you build the confidence.
Build it in chunks. Why do we have to do these big things of like, tackle it in chunks?
Yeah, so I touched on earlier for my highest and greatest good, and I use that phrase because you said you use for better or better.
But I would say for the highest and greatest good, if I'm manifesting something specific, if I want to, and I think that's what I want in the moment, I'll then say, this or better. Because I may not know, my 5% conscious small mind I'm not going to sit here and say I know what's right for me.
Because the universe has got a greater imagination.
Hand it over to the divine.
Which is why I say the highest and greatest good, because sometimes I wouldn't necessarily use it all better, because sometimes you need something worse to learn a lesson.
Oh, you bastard. Why'd you do this to me?
Or to course correct you, or to, lead you to something else that is better ultimately.
Oh, you're always putting me in my place, Luke. Alright, was I being toxic positive doing that?
I don't know. I'm just saying that I do it that way. I just go with for my highest and greatest good and just allow that to be.
Point.
I don't know if we have gone off topic with divine intervention or not, but I think when you say for highest and greatest good, that allows for divine intervention. It allows for it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can I tell you, and this is where I'll forget it now when I say this prayer every day or affirmation. This is one I say every day. Our Lady of Peaceful Change, Divine Mother Mary, who loves me without condition, is with me now. I accept your love, acceptance and gratitude for the highest and greatest good of all, and I am open to your divine change and divine intervention. Something like that, for the highest and greatest good. I said it wrong because I knew I'd fuck up because I'm on the video, and I say this perfectly every single day.
You told me this on Thursday. You said the same thing.
This is
I think it sounds right.
Around about that, yeah. Something like that. Sometimes it changes, and then I get. I'm a tiny bit OCD. I think I have to get everything right sometimes.
The feeling or the energy is the same, is it not?
It's just, I just say it, and I'm more flowy, and Mother Mary's a beautiful, loving energy that comes in.
Well, I was going to ask about that, because for me, and maybe my ignorance, but that to me sounds like something from religion.
Yeah. I think, and anyone who's watching the replay who met Emma, I learned a lot from Emma, and she was brought up.
Did the workshop.
The Dragon Breathwork workshop that we had like almost 40 people at, which was awesome, and we raised like 150 for charity. It was so cool. But she taught me a lot, and she has reframed a lot of stuff around religion and pulled out all. She would explain it better than me, but she's pulled out all the shit and reframed it and helped people's beliefs around religion, and it's not one or the other. And for me, it's a spiritual thing. Mm-hmm. How I see it is a spiritual thing, but I can see where the label comes into it of Mother Mary, it then turns religious. But personally, how I see it is just a spiritual thing. And I learned a lot from Emma Romano, who did have slight religious upbringing and background, but reframed hers around it into to mould with spirituality and be and. She teaches this and that, not this or that, in abundance. She's like, why the one house? Have that house and that house. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Give me both the houses. Come on, universe. But I know deep down I don't really want two houses. I like living comfortably and having enough to buy the things I want and need and treat the people I love and make a difference in my business.
If you had two houses, you could give one to someone else.
That's very true as well.
Okay.
And if I was ready and able for it, and it was a desire of mine, something I would look into. If it was meant to come about and I was meant to do it, it would.
To my highest and greatest good.
To the highest and greatest good of all. All involved, yeah, always. Because we're working with the collective energy now, and if you're... And I struggle with the whole, coming back to selfishness as well, of how much of this are you really doing for the collective, as people say, because you know deep down that what you do, what's a real selfless task to be able to do? I know people have had debates on this, if it doesn't really exist, because you get a rewarding feeling from it, and you get the good karma back from doing good to other people.
Yeah. What's wrong with being selfish?
That's a fucking valid question too, Luke, alright.
Just a thought. Because I often chat, and maybe because we've given the word in society selfish or self-centred or egocentric, whatever, we've given those things negative connotations.
Yeah,
but if everyone just looked after themselves, everyone would be happy. We're too busy worrying about what other people want for us or think or feel or how it might impact another person. But if everybody individually focused on their own happiness and their own joy, everyone would be happy.
Oh God, and we'd live in a totally different world. There was a saying that was, you look after you for me and I'll look after me for you. Not I'll look after you and you look after me, I'll look after me for you.
Do you know the song, I love myself so much so that I can love you so much, so that you can love you so much, so that you can start loving me?
Because I've had blocks, I was talking about this recently, I've blocked in certain relationships, and I've noticed it's relationships where they're not comfortable accepting and loving themselves to the fullest level and fullest extent. And I've watched my relationships with those people who are working on themselves flourish and thrive and have such a deep level of love because they're working on them and I'm working on me. And we can love to the same level now. And we can feel that so deeply. But I'm having blocks with people that aren't doing the work, the inner work.
So, you're back.
Oh, sorry if my connection's going. Luke, the cheapskate, wouldn't give me connection to his Wi-Fi. He was like, no, you're not using it. You've got to pay me £10.
I just don't know the password.
If you're annoyed by the connection on mine, head over to LV Life. What's yours called? Just LV Life, isn't it? Facebook page. I'll tag in this. I'll try and remember to tag. And you can stop getting annoyed with the connection going. Watch it on that one.
So, talking about that, so I found Alex, my husband, the moment I got comfortable with myself. I can pinpoint it.
Mic drop.
Yeah, the moment I felt comfortable. I'd separated from a really rough relationship. I was then, I didn't say homeless, I was kind of sofa surfing or staying at friends' houses and things for a while. And then I kind of landed a very secure job. I managed to buy my own house. And the moment I moved into that house by myself, like everything just kind of clicked into place. I felt really good about who I was and that I'd done the work and that I'd achieved all that stuff by myself. And then a little while after that, kind of Alex popped up.
I love that. And you feel in your gut and your bones and your soul and every fibre of your being when you're in alignment and you're in the right place. I knew when I moved to Canada that this wasn't going to be my home. You just know in your body. Your body has all the wisdom. We're animals, right? And the bloody animals run away 2 weeks before a big catastrophic natural disaster that the humans are walking around blind to and have no idea because we're so out of touch. But I love connecting with the earth and the nature and grounding and a little bit of a hippie at heart. But the science is catching up with it all now. And it's, we've got these animal instincts. And the more we connect with the divine, allow divine intervention to take place, be humble enough to get out the way and know that there might just be a higher power out there. I'm not here to force my beliefs on you, but I just feel that if you was to say no completely to it and be so closed off to it, it's like you're going to the ocean with a teaspoon, putting the spoon in the ocean going, there are no whales in here, therefore they do not exist. I just love that saying. So I love open-minded people, but I've also got time for closed-minded people and to have discussions with all types of people. However you are is great, but I do find I have deeper connections with those who are willing and open to question things and to question your own shit as well. That takes courage. It takes courage to be on this journey where you want to look inwards. And I think this was another thing that popped up with the illness stuff and the masculine energy and the world we live in where it's ingrained to work 5-6 days a week, go, 40-hour weeks. And people are still barely affording their freaking bills. What kind of world is that? It's modern day slavery, right? And I was literally working 4 jobs at one point, most of the time 3, but at one point I'm working doing the business and 3 other jobs at once, doing night shifts, going to another job in the day, doing another quadruple shifts. But really, because I couldn't face myself.
Distraction.
I've slowed down recently because one of my clients has gone to Isle of Wight, the disability job, the little autistic lad Callum that I work with. Look at my face light up when I think about him and talk about him. I love him. But you get time to miss them. You get time to have a break and reflect and slow down. And I was in routine and Monday morning rolled about and I was like, oh, what am I going to do now? I'm out of routine. I've got to face myself. I'm not in distraction mode, disassociation, because I know I can get in a habit and I've got to be mindful of doing that. And I felt the uncomfort of like, oh God, I'm not very well. I've got to stay in and sit with myself. And I was like, no, do you know what? It's okay. There's nothing I can't handle and just allowed to move through me. If I keep going, that's going to all be squashed down and swept under the rug. Let's not look at that.
Well, that's the life, the world that we live in and we're taught to live in, right?
Yeah. But I wouldn't have known. It's only because divine intervention took Callum away to the Isle of Wight, made me a bit sick, so I had to slow down, that there was stuff moving through me. And Matt's Ross's little doggy, I know he won't mind me saying, but he's then got my illness, so we've just been a bit lazy. You've said you felt like, no, I don't even like the word lazy. I don't like, we're just resting, but for me,
why is it
can be uncomfortable. I feel lazy, I should be up, I should be doing something.
Because that's what you've been taught.
I have got so much done in the business from my bed though.
God, I've got nothing done this week.
That's okay. Look, let go. Shit, get rid of the shame of any of that shite.
No.
It's
the
the
weird world
judgment
that we live in,
of it, isn't it?
We're taught that doing nothing is lazy.
Yeah. And the happiest people I know are slowing down, not speeding up.
How many people work their frickin' asses off and then either have a mental breakdown or die? Like, it's so true though. She's gone.
Apologies, guys.
That is so true. And then they're forced to stop or they literally drop dead. Like, what is the point?
My dad's ill at the minute. Everyone's dropping down like flies at the minute. Everyone's been touched. There's a wave of feminine energy. Anyone feeling that? Like COVID. COVID was, it always designed perfectly. Everyone will have their judgments to it and whatnot, and their insights and reflections of what came out of it. But what I see was this wave of, it may not have been the most healthiest centered feminine energy, but it hit us like a bloody slap in the face of feminine energy, of slow down. Some people thrived and found projects and creativity. Some people went in a hole of depression because they had to bloody face themselves. And some people were just sitting in the middle observing it all. Do you know? Like, there's just, it all just is as it's meant to be. But I was the other day in a way of like, just put me down. But I know I'm in a state of resistance then as well, because I'm like, I don't want to be feeling this way. And then I have to just have that little, I hug myself on those days now as well. Someone in my empowerment circle said they did that too, and it reaffirmed it for me that it's okay to do this, especially on those tough days that you're struggling. Sometimes even give, how weird is that? Do you think that's weird, or do you think that's nice?
I'm making out with yourself.
Whatever
floats your boat.
Do you ever do that one? Do you ever do that one in school?
Oh yeah,
What does it look like?
Yeah, when I was like 12.
Inner child came out to play, Luke. What can I say?
Yeah, fair enough.
What can I say? But no, I know it can be, and the mirror work and the high fives, and when you first start doing it and giving love to yourself. Even now, it's doing it on camera. It's something a little bit different for me, because in private, you're like, yeah, this is okay. I can just.
To me, it's like no different to singing in the car.
Yeah.
Like that makes you feel really good.
Yeah, it does.
People love singing in the car, but they would never sing like screech that loud in real life in front of people. Most people, yeah, true. Something different when you're just on your own and you can just do what you want. It's the same thing. So why can we do it singing in the car, but we can't do it in a mirror? Food for thought there. Food for
thought. I love all the food for thought. And the divine intervention's all around us without even, a lot of us don't even realise it's happening. The red lights, every single red light is divine intervention. And we're there like, come on, we're late for work. Well, I'm not anymore. I love driving.
Yeah, it's like, is it worth getting stressed about something we can't control?
No, would be the final answer to that one, Luke. No.
Because you can't control red lights.
Oh, exactly.
I quite often do that now, and I have to sit back and think to myself, there's obviously a reason that I'm being delayed.
Yeah, always. I had someone beep me the other day going up my arse because I let someone go in front of me. And I love being, even if I'm running slightly late, I'm like, it's literally 2 seconds of my time to let this I look at the traffic behind me and I think they're never getting out. All these bastards on the road. And I love just being like, here you go. And they're like, I got sent a kiss once when I let someone out. And then when someone let me out, it was the same junction, someone blew me a kiss. And I had this heartwarming feeling from head to toe. And she let me out. And it was a day when I was on form, the Spotify was right up, I'm singing my tunes and I'm like, thanks legend! It was a sunny day, the windows down, and she gave me this smile that I was honestly thinking about for 5 minutes later.
Yeah,
that I got to have that. Yeah, and now. Because we connected. She was a beautiful woman, and I had that feeling of like sisters uniting. We're not against each other anymore, trying to pull each other down to get better. No, we're supporting each other and lifting each other up, and all of that happened in one moment.
Well, maybe that was a divine intervention there.
Yeah, and I get to have those moments on the road, even though I'm half the time running late for things. But I used to be like, oh my god, gotta get there, and I'm like, you'll get there when you get there. The minute you got in the car, that's it. You can't change that now with about 30 seconds to spare, so you can spend the half an hour or however long you're going to be in the car stressing up someone's arse and cursing every red light, or sing along to the tunes, let a few people go, listen to a podcast and just live life and be too blessed to be stressed.
Too blessed to be stressed. There's a t-shirt right there.
I say that to myself very often through the day, and every time I wee, health, wealth and wisdom flows to me. That is what I say every time I wee. And then I bless and release what does not bring me peace. I'll let you guess what happens when I'm on the toilet. I'll do that one.
We've got images of Hayley on the toilet.
Sorry about the images of me on the loo. I can get like this sometimes, like, you know, when some people have a stool, but I'm just like, that's meant to be the right way to poo in it. Or maybe I'll ask Wendy Budd, because I think we're going into a different topic here now, aren't we?
Well, she is, in divine timing, just opened her new temperance cafe / herbal medicine centre in Gosport.
Yeah, I think my mum just saw her yesterday.
Opened on Sunday. And
go visit her. I'm buzzing to see that.
Both Monica and Sarah from the studio are working there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. Congrats to Wendy, and I hope we can all support her and go and visit.
Go down. It'd be great.
Yeah. Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
What a win.
No.
Dreams coming true, that kind of thing. Core memories, you know. And it's nice to watch someone have that. No, I'm not saying it's an end product, but it would have been a kind of pivotal moment of like, this was the dream.
The dream coming into fruition.
Yeah. And I think often it's then on to the next thing, right?
So, but for Wendy, it was divine intervention totally for her. I'm speaking for her, obviously, but she wasn't necessarily looking to do that. And it was the same for me, and with the place that I'm in now, I wasn't necessarily looking to do that when the opportunity came up. And for her, the opportunity came up, and she just went, all right, I'll look into, I'll explore that a bit further. Kind of sparked her interest, and the next thing she knew, she literally moved in there. She lives above it.
Wow.
So she's like a whole lifestyle change for her, but that wasn't, that wasn't something necessarily the plan. Yeah.
And I love the book, The Surrender Experiment. It really goes into detail of like how you could have all these plans that you think you want, but actually it's not what you want at all. And often we'll get it and we'll be like, oh, actually that wasn't what we want. So why not save all the bullshit and heartache and just surrender it over to divine intervention of, all right, I'll let it come. I know you've got to put work and effort in. You can't just be like, I'm ready, universe. You've got to take those actions. Yeah, stay sat on the sofa and expecting divine intervention and all this magic to happen. There's you've got to put your energy into it as well.
Well, they did that, The Secret, the movie, the book, Rhonda Byrne. So they did the whole Secret, and then loads of people debunked it, and then they did The Secret too, and they said, oh yeah,
the magic.
We forgot to. No, that's a different one, I think.
I thought that was number 2 of The Secret. Is there a Secret 2?
Yeah, so Rhonda Byrne's got another book about magic, but there's a Secret too. Effectively, they went, we forgot to mention you need to take action.
I heard some stuff about The Secret not having the right antidote or something.
Yeah, so then they did a second one to kind of retrospectively correct the first one.
Yeah, but that was one of the first books I read on my spiritual awakening journey.
I think for most people it is.
For most people, yeah. And a bit of Eckhart Tolle thrown in the mix. The Power Now and A New Earth. It's got to be the one. But The Surrender Experiment is one to read. I'm looking for a book to change my life. I'm reading Letting Go. I'm always on about 5 books at once, but at the minute I'm reading Letting Go.
I'm looking for a book to change my life.
Yeah. I found a couple, and it's been years since I've really had that like gripped, I am well into this. I'm quite into Letting Go at the minute. Could be a life changer, but I've not. A New Earth and The Surrender Experiment, they're up there for me.
Do you need something else to change your life?
Oh, Luke, here we go again. All right, no.
I'm not
because
saying...
it's again a form of doing, and I shame myself if I don't read my book.
But books, inspiration, I get it, and yes, they can change your life because they can give you new thoughts, ideas, they can spark new seeds. Great.
Yeah.
I remember when I was studying the Bhagavad Gita as part of my yoga study.
Yeah.
And I was getting so fucking wound up with it. I was like, I don't need a book to tell me what to do. I don't need a book to tell me how to live. And that's all of the stuff coming from religion for me. I'm like all these people living by a freaking book that we don't really know if it was well written. And what does it actually mean? And it's very open to interpretation, all of that. And I was like, I don't need a book to, tell me how to live my life. Eventually I kind of got my head around it and understood it. Because, it's a story. It's not like literal, you do this, you do that. It's a story about cousins that go to war. But I love books. I love being inspired by books. I really struggle when it comes to when it tells me what to do. But I'm like that in life. I don't generally like being told what to do. It's a control thing, I think.
Yeah.
each
No,
their
that
own.
makes sense. That makes sense. I'm only interested really in the self-development books and potentially being told what to do by people that I know have a proven method and know their shit. Like this letting go, I can feel the energy of it's very authentic and it's coming from a place of being written from the heart, and I can think you can feel that even when you just touch a book. You're tuning into the energy of what's gone into that.
It's a bit of a mindfulness. There are so many books out there.
And so many podcasts. And it can be a lot. Overstimulating, overwhelming.
And
Where do you start?
And what is done, as you say, from authenticity, and what is done to make a sale.
Yeah. Your own discernment will tell you that though, won't it?
But also, I mean, we're way going off topic. Own discernment is
always.
good. But also, oh my God, I've got so much I want to say. We don't have time.
We do. Come on, get it out.
we all have your own discernment, right? We all have our own level of intuition. Some people call it gut instinct. In human design, I shy away from using that term because in human design, not everybody has a gut instinct.
Very true.
But we all have instincts or discernment or thoughts or feelings or things that come up when we're approached with something. And I think it's just important to recognise, rather than going, because you mentioned earlier about going to Australia and writing a pros and cons list.
Yeah.
I think the more that we can step out of that kind of trying to actualise stuff, trying to say, well, this is factually this is factually that.
Try to be logical about it.
The moment we take it up here, I think we've lost it.
Yeah.
So I think
totally
if we
agree.
can connect with whatever instinct that we have and listen to it, then we've got a better chance of making the right decision. And that's like better chance of picking up the right book that's going to resonate for you, it's going to give you the message that you need now, that's going to course correct you where you need to be now.
So it's what we were talking about in the circle. Come out of here,
Yeah.
you'll have 1,000 thoughts about a situation, come into here. The more we can keep just coming into the feelings of everything, the more we'll learn, we'll know, like that, what's my ego talking to me and trying to keep me small, and what is just my gut intuition, that feeling that you just trust and you know. And it's got to a point for me now of, I know when I've ignored the instinct that it's gone wrong. It's been harder than it needed to be, and every time I've followed it, it's been beautiful. So I just trust it now, and I recognise what is my soul and what messages are coming through and what feels good and what doesn't feel good in my body, because I'm practicing it. It's like a muscle. Not a lot of us are taught it. We should, I don't like to say should, but it would be lovely if at a young age we're learning these things. But there's a reason we're not, and we get to learn them now, which is a new exciting way to be a child again and relearn something that we'd never learned before.
I think we can just go in cycles our whole lives of having to relearn. If you're open to that, I think the people that I know in the world that are the most miserable are those that are not willing to relearn.
Because you'll just keep going through the same pattern again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Definition of insanity, keep doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I like to try and embrace change, because otherwise I found that it happens to me rather than for me. The universe pushes me into change that I don't feel ready for. Or, since I've just been pushing myself into, okay, there are stalls to do, there is I could do this charity event. I've gotten used to running my normal events every month, and they're coming quite easy. I've done 7 or 8 now of ecstatic dance and empowerment circles that were around before. And then I'm like, okay, cool, let's push myself into something else that's going to be a bit new. And I've got to think about all these different things, and it's keeping that variety up, and it's keeping me creative and challenged. I've been like, okay, I've got to get this done in time, get the gazebo, make sure I'm confident with that. Doing that all this morning with Gaz, my stepdad. Get all the table and the chairs, and what will I need? And a banner. I've just ordered a new roller banner and got a new design for it. And I'm investing in the business, and it's exciting and fun, and I've got a bit of time for it now. And it all just flows when you kind of just get out your own way.
You've got time because that kid's in the Isle of Wight. And you're all sick.
Kid, he's 32 like me.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's been nice. Even though yesterday I was kind of sick, I just felt so inspired to tick loads of things off my to-do list that have been there for a while that were getting me down. I was like, when am I going to get time for this?
Do you want my to-do list?
No, thank you. Remember, no is a full sentence, guys.
Yeah. No is a whole and complete sentence.
I normally struggle with that. Well, I'm going to practice that one there.
Anybody else want my
I
to-do list?
You set me up for it. Come on, give me your washing while you're at it, Luke, and I'll come and take care of the kids and the dog and the new cat. Why not?
Yeah.
But that was what I used to be like, the people pleaser that would just fucking betray myself. Even though I'm ill, I'm like, no, let me help you. Trying to fix and rescue and save everyone. And again, a disassociation from looking at my own shit.
As I say, to detract from saving yourself.
Can't possibly look within.
Yeah.
God, no.
Yeah. I never used to be able to cope with silence. I used to be really uncomfortable in silence. I love a bit of silence now. In fact, I want the whole world to shut the fuck up. I don't really. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't even drive with the radio on anymore.
Yeah, I love those times.
I just love silence.
I do.
I used to be so uncomfortable with it.
I used to have to talk and be like,
feel the voice.
weather's great today!
Yeah.
Fuck.
I have a friend, right, and she's always been really comfortable with silence. And sometimes when we'd hang out with her in the early days, we would just kind of sit and just kind of and not say anything because she was really comfortable with silence and I'm not. I wasn't.
Yeah. So it helped you.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then someone once said to me, maybe she's just really comfortable in silence, and I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, it is nice.
Because I think in my head when I'm getting awkward that they're feeling that awkwardness too. And I'm trying to suss them out. I'm like, are they this uncomfortable as me? What is happening? Do I need to say something now? It's been an awfully long time since anyone said something last and my brain's doing this. And then I do ask myself, what if they're just comfortable and content right now? This is all my own assumptions, my own thoughts. Doesn't mean they're true.
I did an event once. I went to an event, in Bournemouth with a guy called Jamie Cato. And he did an activity where you had to buddy up with a stranger in the room, and you had to stare into their eyes in silence for, I can't remember, 3 minutes or something. I couldn't do it.
Okay. I
just kept making noises or talking or saying, oh, this is awkward, things like that. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And the person I was working with was like, shut the fuck up. It's supposed to be in silence.
Yeah. And they say, because I've done this a few times, and I've done it on the retreat day in an empowerment circle. And they say best to look in the left eye if you can. I mean, look in both if you can, but left eye's good because it's your soul eye, so they say. And you're meant to be the person who... There's one person that's meant to hold space and another person that's then meant to be the one who's experiencing the emotion. And then you swap. There's an aspect of swapping. So if you're doing 3 minutes, you potentially do a minute and a half. That's how I was kind of taught it. Other times it's just been look at the person's eye, but other times there's been instructions about like someone's got to hold the space, and then I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Sir, how do we know what's happening? I can get a bit in my head and confused by it. Yeah. Okay, I'm holding space, so I'm just looking in this person's eye. What am I meant to be doing? Rather than just being in the moment and being.
Yeah, great.
That's another thing that came up. Sorry, we're human beings, not human doings.
Oh yeah, classic.
It came in really hot when I was driving to your house this morning, and I was like, "Yeah, we're all doing a little bit too much at the minute." I'm thinking.
Generally,
I'm getting that impression. A lot of people getting a bit sickly, poorly. We've got to be a bit more, haven't we? I'm having me lemon and honey. Someone kept offering me bloody no, they were offering Matt paracetamol yesterday, and I was like, get that stuff away from me.
I'm going to give you something in a minute.
Is it natural?
Yeah.
He knows me too well.
Yeah. Alright, on that note, we're going to fix Hayley.
Thanks. Help me.
And you're all going to have a wonderful day and tell us about your stories of divine intervention.
Yeah, loved this topic. Thank you guys for tuning in. Whoever came in the lives and the replay. Have you got anything? What's coming up? You've booked in a new retreat, haven't you?
There's in March, yeah. I moved September 1 to March. We're already 50% sold.
There you go.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. I can never remember off the top of my head. We're working at the moment on an open weekend at the Wellbeing Centre, whereby all kind of a bunch of us that work there are going to do free or donation-based activities, whether that's a class or a one-to-one treatment or all kinds of different stuff. And then
readings,
and we did something similar last December, I think.
Yeah.
And it went really well.
It was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we're going to do that again. We'll just look. Well, we've got a date, and I've just realised that date clashes with something else, so I don't know if we need to relook
I'll be at doing the stall. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, a couple of my events still running. Ecstatic dances at the end of every month on a Friday. Empowerment circles where you've got more of a chance to share, connect with like-minded souls. We go for a powerful little journey. Every month's theme, so whatever comes up, I tune into the energy, and then we go through a breathwork journey, meditation or hypnosis, sound healing, Reiki, some light language. It's some really cool stuff, and I love the people that have come up and the divine intervention in that. Actually, all the clients that have been sent my way are like mirrors. I often find I've gone through something and they're going through the exact same thing, or we're just very similar people that feel very familiar and connected, and it's kind of like a reward that you're doing the right thing, so we're going to send the right people to you, I suppose. Look, yeah, on that note of divine intervention, but yeah, that's the stuff that's coming up, and I do the one-to-one stuff as well, so yeah, I'm always happy to help.
Great. Wow, have a wonderful rest of your week.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. I hope that you're doing well, and if you are feeling a bit under the weather or things are tough and you're struggling, we're sending you extra love, and there's always extra love to tune into. It's just about knowing that we're worthy enough to open ourselves up to receive that. You know, the masculine energy is the go, go, do energy, whereas the feminine energy is the receivership, and the receivership and the slowing down. So when we slow down, we're saying we're open to receiving love, receiving blessings, divine opportunities, all the things. And then there's a beautiful balance there as well too. So I'm sending you all the love, and I hope that you receive that openly and beautifully.
Bye.
See you, legend.